What is going on, team? Welcome to today's vlog. Now, today's vlog sparks 4 weeks and 1 day until the CrossFit Games kicks off. Dave Castro's preparations look to be going well. That clip, every time you watch it, just gets a little bit funnier. and the laugh, even funnier. But if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you really laugh at? Now, over the last couple of days, we've seen athletes make some funny videos. Yes, us CrossFitters are funny. Yes, we are. I'm just dry, just really dry. Desert, there's no water. Kyle Porter is doing everything he can to be as fit as possible for the CrossFit Games, and he's taking advice off Google.
Okay, yes, so we are competing, right? Yep, okay, and the Games is 1 month from today. So 1 month from today, we are competing.
Now, for the people that love Kevin, if you missed it on Instagram, here he is. That is typical Kevin. In other news, we saw a Norwegian box owner by the name of Matilda Garnes post a video of her doing 60 unbroken bar muscle ups. I'm not sad, I can do a third of that. It was also reported on that post though that a couple of weeks ago she set a new world record for max toes to bar within a minute of 43 reps. That's one every second for 43 seconds and then resting for 17 seconds. Or if you do singles, 43 singles. Now, if you don't have enough reasons to love Shane, here's another video so that you love Shane more than you already do.
How much credit do you take?
No, I think it's, I guess if you ask her, she'll say it's a team effort, but I believe it's all her.
Why?
I think that Tia has the ability to do it with anybody. I just think that I'm just lucky enough to do it with her. Yeah. Gets me every time.
And then a workout that kind of I saw and I was like, yeah, this is one I want to share with the team. I think this is something that they could do if they just have a set of dumbbells and they want a good time. Now, if you have a set of dumbbells and you want a good time, just go to a party and hold your dumbbells. That was so bad. But if you want to work out, the Lean Machines posted 50 lungesters, which is 2 lunges and 1 hang cluster, every minute on the minute, 3 burpees. And the video of John doing it looked like this. That's a workout that's like in the memory bank and I'm looking forward to doing. But anyway, team, let's get into the main part of today, the main discussion. It's kind of 2 main bits really, but number 1 being that we have had the news that the Open is now back in February.
Overwhelmingly, people want to see the Open to go back to where it's always been prior to 2019 in February. So I'm happy to tell you that the Open's going to be in February and March. And that will lead to what I can tell you for sure, which is hard to say anything for sure in this world right now with COVID and so on. I can tell you for sure we're going to be running the Open in February, March, and that is going to lead cohesively to a CrossFit Games, which I think will end up being, we don't have dates for the Games, but if I had to guess, it will be later in the year versus where it's traditionally been, for the sole important reason that we want to maximize the chances that we can have as big a field as possible of participants, and that we could, God forbid, have a live audience one of these days, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's a great idea. Straight up. September, October, November, December. So if you want to get fit for the Open, you've got 6 months.
This is fine.
Honestly, I think this is a change that needed to happen, especially for the athletes at the top of the game. With the games being in August and then the Open being in October, it gave the athletes really no time to have an off season. Come down after the CrossFit Games. As we all know, CrossFit athletes, they prep for the games and they peak for it, and then having to kind of maintain after such a big event, not good for their mental health and not good for their physical health either. But also I feel like the October Open was needed. It was like one of those things when the new season came out with Sanctionals, it was like a thing that, you know, we have to get that in there before all the Sanctionals goes off because we don't know how the season's properly going to go. But we've had 2 years of Sanctionals now and I think they've been great. I was opposed to them at the start. I was. And since Eric's taken over, I've seen a lot of comments on his post and all around Castro's post and all around the CrossFit post saying, bring back regionals. Nah. That's what I say to that. Nah. And Eric actually talked about it on the CrossFit Games Instagram post.
Number 2 is we've been asked about regionals and stuff like that. And are we going back to regionals? And I would say everybody seems to want the Open in February that I've talked to. It doesn't fit with all the event schedules of some of our event partners, and I'm sympathetic to that, but there's kind of an overwhelming demand. On the regionals versus kind of sanctioned events side, I think the field's pretty split. Do people want formal regionals, or do they want kind of a more of a grab bag of crazy events? We like the grab bag of crazy events operated by partners. It really is in the spirit of CrossFit. It's very much like affiliates themselves. Mm-hmm. We like that these events have unique personalities, and so we're very much going to lean towards that model versus the traditional regional model. But we are going to create much more integration and partnership with on both the athlete front and the event partner front. But and there's a lot of other cool stuff we have in mind with the future of the sport. But
I'll be the first to say that regionals was fun. Like going to regionals in Madrid, fun. And as I've already said, I was opposed to them getting rid of regionals. When they got rid of it, I was like, what are you doing? They're awesome. And yeah, the first year of Sanctionals was a little bit confusing. You were like, who's qualifying, who's not qualifying? But now we seem to all have the grasp around it. And Sanctionals have just given us a season. It's like a full year. Us as consumers of the sport and lovers of watching people do sport, we get to see different styles of events. Like when we went to Norway, people doing runs up ski slopes. Waterpalooza on Miami Bayfront. The Rogue Invitational at their HQ in Ohio.
I don't see nobody in my lane that's quite go get it like me. Whoa. Please don't be wasting my time with.
Instead of 5 weeks in stadiums from an Open where if you're ill in the Open, you don't make regionals. Your season's over. If you're ill over regionals, you don't make games. The season's over. Whereas now everyone has a chance to peak for a certain event. They still have the chance to do the Open and go directly to the games and just peak for that. And then actually in the Talking Elite Fitness podcast recently, Matt came up with a really good point that I didn't think of, but it's true.
I really like the idea of Sanctionals. I think it's a great way for there to be growth in the sport. You see different competitions and how they're going about it and like the business they're bringing in with sponsors that aren't involved in the space, but they just see what's going on and they want to be a part of it. Like Waterpalooza is a perfect example. Like you're there and it's like Dodge Ram is there and then Chipotle, and it's like, well, yeah, they're not CrossFit companies, but they're companies in a growing space that they want to be involved, and it's phenomenal. I would like, my ideal season is just make a season,
Yeah.
Let's pick one and stick to it for a little while.
Looking at it since we've moved to Sanctionals, the prize money in CrossFit has exponentially grown, giving more athletes an opportunity to make it a full-time job, to better the level of CrossFit. And with all these events being all over the world, growing the sport, getting it out there. And not only that, we get to see our favorite athletes at the CrossFit Games. There's a lot of opportunities. And if you're one of the top dogs and you're good enough and say you just mess up the Open, you're probably going to see them win a sanctioned event, and then you're going to see them at the games. Now, that all being said and done, could there be a bit more uniformity between sanctionals? Yeah. I feel like what really needs to happen is just a board being put in place to look over workouts for every sanctional to make sure that the programming is good, so the athlete that wins it is a well-rounded CrossFit athlete and it's not biased towards anything. But other than that, I feel like the sanctionals still should have like free roam and just kind of use the environment around them, because that's the cool part about it. That's my take on regionals versus sanctionals. Regionals were great because it was uniformity and it was kind of like, you know, a very straight path to get to the games. But I feel like sanctionals are just way cooler. But anyway, that's going to end today's video, team. But before I go, there's one thing that I really want to say, and I kind of feel like it's standing out. Before, if we'd have said we want the Open back in February, and there was people saying that they want regionals back, it wouldn't have been acknowledged. Eric, he's listening to the people. Think about it. What do you think about the changes? Do you like the Open being back in February? I think everyone does, but if you don't, tell me why in the description down below. And are you a regionals person or are you a sanctionals person? I need one of those, you know, that meme with the table, you know, where it's like, sanctionals are better. Thank you for tuning in today. Please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we will catch you guys in the next one. And follow me on Instagram. Yes.